Do you think Trump is intentionally tanking the dollar?
Your job is to start to prep and start converting this paper you have in your pocket into silver and gold to prepare for that day, whenever that day comes.
You know, you said if we lose the world's reserve currency, there's going to be a war. Yeah, there can be a financial war.
Are you ready to change your silver prediction? Buy your precious metals online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold and silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing just great.
Are you?
Yeah, I was listening to all the nonsense coming from you.
What?
Yeah, let's see. We're pretty soon going to be in May,
Right.
okay? And all the shenanigans going on with gold and silver don't appear to be taking a single direction. But today, I mean, what we were down $40,
Yep.
and now it's only 16. So, yeah, the big guys, the big money is still in control. So you got 15 of these
15 ounces of silver.
and a 9 fine 5 ounce.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a Swiss 10.
Yeah, a Pomp Suisse.
I have a shop in Salem, actually, and everyone's been coming in and selling everything. And it's just like no one's buying anything from me, so I'm like just a little short. So I'm running around collecting cash because it's the last day of the month, and I need to get to pay all my bills.
I wouldn't like to run a pawn shop because you never know if what you're buying is legitimate or if it's stolen or something.
There's a lot of judgment that goes into like, am I going to do business with this person? Where did you get this now? So I have a whole process I go through. Like I have a conversation. It's 20 minutes.
Most of what I buy from my customers.
Yeah.
And it's 90% or gold coins or something like this fellow who was in this morning. He said, yeah, I bought this from you 2 months ago or something like that. So
Well, he scored because gold's gone up a ton in 2 months.
that's right.
Right? I mean, I have people like that too. They want to sell back the stuff they bought from me. And I'm like, well, I mean, hold on to it for a little while.
Yeah.
It's mostly, gold and silver.
Yeah.
But, and if I don't know somebody from being a customer for years, it's somebody that I met through your channel. How many subscribers do you have on your channel?
About 187,000.
That's it's very good, very good. A lot of people out there who don't mind spending money, I guess.
No, it's just subscriptions are free, Tim.
Oh,
Okay,
Oh,
great.
okay.
All right, I got to explain that to
you
everybody.
have to subscribe to get into that wheel?
Can I show you something that's
Sure.
very interesting to me?
Sure.
So on the left, we've got what is a monetary metal. Still, nations stack gold. They don't stack silver. There's not a single central bank that hoards this stuff. It's not considered a monetary metal like gold. Do you think this ratio needs to revert? And what would be what would be a good or an appropriate gold to silver ratio? Do you think, Tim?
Well, I think it will eventually, when the influences on gold moderate, or whatever you want to call it. I think it'll go back to in the 80s. Getting back to, I always thought that the 50s was a place where it should be, but I don't think that's going to happen.
It was 73 like a year ago, Tim.
Yeah, and I think 75 to 80 is probably a good place for it to go this year. I'm just not sure that's going to happen.
If you look back over the global financial crisis, over COVID, when the Fed made its move, cut rates, that's when you saw the gold to silver ratio change dramatically. They've done in the past. We know what the playbook is. Cut, print. That's huge for the gold to silver
One
ratio.
of the things that Trump should do is break the dependence on the banks that we all have. I mean, I don't want to highlight my own problems
You
with
love the
banks.
banks, don't you? You just
No, I think they're, but Congress lets them do what they can get away with, and it's not right. Congress needs to go back to a free market system, whether they like it or not. But I think they're all too concerned about their own wealth to do that.
Well, we got a couple people in here that want to actually buy some You ready to buy some metals?
We're ready to buy.
Is this the first time you've been here?
Yes, it is.
First time?
First time?
You've never met Tim.
No, I never met Tim.
What did you think of that ratio? Is that poignant?
Very.
4 of those tubes to 1?
Can you believe that? I know it.
Which would you rather have if you had a choice between those 4
This
tubes?
would be easier to carry.
Yeah, you can walk out of that, walk out of here with
That's
that.
right. Absolutely. No problem at all. Those are heavy.
Central banks are just snatching up as much metric tons of gold as they can possibly get their hands on, governments, right? The big mystery is, what is our government doing? Because, we heard a little bit about an audit of Fort Knox, but
Yeah, that went away, didn't it?
certainly went away real fast.
We have lots of whatever you need. If you want all dimes, I give you dimes. If you want halves, if you want
Mixture, probably.
Yeah,
mixer,
yeah,
okay.
good mix. Do you want
Yankee will entertain you while I'm back there with the numbers.
You don't sit at night and roll them all up?
No, because everybody wants something different.
Okay. Okay. Well, before you run off, copper. What's your take on copper?
So how much copper tubing did you have to steal to make this?
How much copper tubing did I steal? Thanks a lot, Tim. In all seriousness, I do get a lot of emails from viewers asking me about stacking copper, like this one from Scott. Hey, Yankee, hope you're doing well. What are your thoughts on stacking copper rounds? I picked up a tube from someone for $20 plus shipping. Well, I'll answer that in a minute, and then we'll hear Tim's take on copper. But let me just say that copper is a really important metal. It's often called the new oil, and it's at the heart of America's future. In fact, President Trump signed several executive orders to protect copper production and copper mining on U.S. soil. Listen to this.
Copper is a critical material, and the supply of copper is vital to our national security.
Our great American copper industry has been decimated by global actors attacking our domestic production. American industries depend on copper, and they should be made in America. No exemptions, no exceptions. America first creates American jobs and protects our national security. It's time for copper to come home.
Very big deal, right?
Huge.
Trump is serious about copper. Demand for it is surging, but supplies are struggling to keep pace. There's a projected 700,000 ton deficit in 2025 alone, and global mine production is expected to peak sometime in 2026. This is a basic common sense supply and demand thesis for us to be bullish on copper. The U.S.-China trade war has totally disrupted global copper supply chains, with China controlling 50% of global smelting. The world's hungry for copper. And as you heard Howard Lutnick, we need our own copper resources. Now, I'm not suggesting that you stack physical copper. Premiums on copper rounds are ridiculously high per ounce, but you might want to still invest in copper. And if so, I think you should start right here. Giant Mining, the sponsor of today's video. I've profiled them before, prior to Trump's tariff war. Giant Mining owns and operates a copper, silver, gold project in Nevada. And they also recorded their best ever drill intercepts in September of 2024. Nevada has constantly ranked among the top mining jurisdictions in the world. Giant Mining owns the Majuba Hill Copper Project, a past producing mine. In fact, in the past 4 years, management and company geologists have actually expanded the copper deposit. And as I mentioned earlier, this past September, they hit their best ever drill hole. Their past production at the Majuba Hill project includes 2.8 million pounds of copper, 184,000 ounces of silver, 5,800 ounces of gold, and 21,000 pounds of tin. Now, their share price is down, by like 50% since early February, primarily due to market turmoil. But in my opinion, that is a massive buying opportunity. So if you listened this far, consider copper as part of your overall investment portfolio. Do your homework on giant mining and then decide for yourself if they're right for you. Their ticker symbol is BFGFF. And if you want to buy some shares, you got to make sure you're using a trading platform that lets you trade on the over-the-counter markets, just like one of those that are displayed here. Okay, well, that's my take on copper and maybe how to invest in it. Let's get back to Tim and hear more from him.
It's a very useful metal.
It's not a precious metal, it's a base metal.
It's not a precious metal, and I think it's very nice that you have your own refinery.
But I mean, it's not really a monetary metal, at least from the Constitution standpoint.
Well, back when the U.S. Mint started, it was a precious metal because so much of their coinage was made of copper or bronze. And they didn't have much gold. That's why the ratio was so low. But they soon discovered that the ratio was too low because the silver started to disappear from the market. But they set up assay offices all over, wherever they were mining gold. And eventually we accumulated enough gold so we could change the ratio from 16 to 1 to 25 to 1.
You wouldn't advise people to stack a lot of copper.
No, not really. I mean, if you have lots of room and you don't mind the weight.
I think it's important. It's an important metal.
My father used to work for the telephone company way back when, and he used to bring wire home all the time, burn it in the backyard, get all the sheathing off, and then go sell it, right?
Copper?
Copper, sure.
I've got a big thing of pennies. What should I do with those? You want more copper?
So at Thanksgiving a few years ago, I put on a clinic for my kids and my nephews and the family. And I said, look, a day's coming when this thing we call a dollar may be in deep, deep trouble. And I said, you need to prepare for that day. And it's funny, I gave them a choice between, I gave my nephews and my kids a choice between one of those cheap Trump commemorative, coins and a real silver eagle. And I said, which one do you think is more valuable, right? And it was split. Some went for the Trump coin, and I said, here you go. And then the ones that there was one of them that went for the eagle, and I said, there you go, right? Yeah. I said, your job is to start to prep and start converting this paper you have in your pocket into silver and gold, right? To prepare for that day, whenever that day comes.
Great job, Dad.
Yeah,
He's training his kids well there.
And I didn't even know I did such a good job. See?
I have my moments every once in a while. And, what troubles me as I walk around and, even with my own family is that people are oblivious to what's actually happening. And, you end up looking like Chicken Little a little bit, but that's okay with me, So what? Yep. I'd rather be Chicken Little and at some point they're going to figure out, oh, he was actually serious. He was right? I think once people start to understand the game that's afoot here, more and more people who have, products and services to sell can see a way that's probably a good way for them to conduct commerce
Outside of the system.
Outside of the system. Correct.
Outside of a digital currency.
Yeah.
Whether it be private or central bank.
Well, and this has happened in other times in other countries where parallel societies got set up because the one that was running things did a terrible job of it. So it's happened here. It's happened here too.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hey,
The
Tim.
ships are already.
I got to ask you, man. Are you ready to change your silver prediction? It was 38, if I'm not mistaken, sometime this year in 2025.
Yeah.
Mine was 40. You going to stick with that prediction?
Yes.
$38 an ounce for silver this year.
And you said if we lose the world's reserve currency, there's going to be a war. Yeah, there's going to be a financial war, but it will be centered in New York. Let's say some countries want a digital currency as the world's reserve currency. What do you do about all the little countries that thrive on cash? They have to have some sort of cash to keep their economies going. It's very complicated, And there is not one overriding authority that can make those decisions.
Do you think Trump is intentionally tanking the dollar in order to get his big, beautiful bill through?
No.
Do you think
not a chance.
Do you think he wants to see the dollar depreciate against other currencies? I mean, he was just talking about the yen just a few days ago, and he was complaining it was too expensive, too high. He wants the dollar to go down.
Well, I
seems.
mean, look at all the Asian currencies are too high compared to the dollar. All of them are. We all had at one time free enterprise. We all had a free market. And the world has forgotten about the free market. Why? Because we've had too much socialism, too much communism, and everything is controlled by a central authority. You know, we should go back to free enterprise and maybe convince, I mean, there are a lot of intelligent people in the world, not necessarily in Europe, but there are a lot of, I mean, let me just refine that a little bit.
Yeah, we got some European viewers
there
here,
what,
man.
27 countries now in the European Union? They are not the United States of Europe, okay? There is no common authority that they all agree to. They have no provision in the European Constitution to pay their debt by country. So all the countries in the European Union are drowning in debt. And so, do they want to give up their tariffs? Probably not. But I think what the world needs is free enterprise. We need to get back to the free market system. When you had so many communist countries and so many socialist countries, bordering Europe, and at one point France was socialist, and Germany was fascist. So they haven't recovered from all that. But that's the reason they look at a central authority as being very important to their economies. Trump may be able to change that, but it really is going to take an attitude change on the part of all those countries in Europe. Why should we manipulate the dollar to accommodate them? Doesn't make any sense. And we're going to find that out for whatever the deal is they make with India is going to be very important.
You don't think that a weaker dollar is part of the strategy here,
No, I don't.
especially when it comes to this tax
I don't.
policy?
I think they have to get the tariffs straightened out first.
Right.
They have to get an agreement from one large country that free market system is the way to go. Right. And that may be India.
Maybe India.
Yeah, I think India's run by very intelligent people these days. And, I don't want to say anything negative about the European Union, but it is much more complicated than that. I don't think a central authority can negotiate the tariffs for all 27 countries. They need to do that on their own. And it doesn't look like they've got any consistent strategy in Europe yet. If that doesn't happen, I think this is going to turn into a battle.
Do you think Trump wants to see strong metal prices?
I don't think so.
No?
No, not yet.
He's not a gold bug.
Well, apparently, if you look at the decorations in his office, you'd have to say he is a gold bug.
Do you think silver is going to get up there in the 40s?
Well, I certainly hope so. I'm buying it.
And what do you think the price?
This year?
Yeah, this year.
I think it's a distinct possibility. I think after, later part of the summer into the fall, I think things are going to get very weird. So we'll see.
You happy?
I am.
You're happy to meet Tim, too, aren't you? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you too.
Oh, thank you.
This bag does very little except it covers it up. Something hold it from the bottom. Thank you very much.
Now we need both the star and the co-star to sign these
Yes.
these stickers here.
By the way, Tim, your pen collection is legendary online.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure how many of them actually write. Every now and then somebody picks up one from the pile and I say, that's not going to write. And it writes. So I say, there's no sense in throwing them away yet. I think I have boxes of them. Something.
I know.
Anybody.
Put your scroll on there, Yankee.
All right.
He's been Yankee so long, he doesn't remember what his real name is.
Probably a good thing.
And anyway, he was talking to his wife, and he says, "Mrs. Yankee."
Thank you so much. Take
Nice
care.
meeting you both.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.